They're all in line and they're off. That's Key to the Dungeon with the early lead. Never No Turning Back moving up on the inside into second place. Countach in third, Brigade of Guards in fourth, and Precious Lamb the trailer at this point in the race. Now with about a 10-length lead and sprinting away on top is Key to the Dungeon. Key to the Dungeon on top. Now moving into second place is Brigade of Guards with Joe Gillette aboard. Followed by Countach, Never No Turning Back, and Precious Lamb in the group. Key to the Dungeon still on top by about 15 lengths. They come down in front of the crowd now for the first time. Key to the Dungeon with Robert Leaf Jr. aboard. Key to the Dungeon with about a 10-15 length lead over top of Joe Gillette on Brigade of Guards. In a very close third, Countach Todd Wyatt aboard. Alexandra White now making a move on Precious Lamb. Never No Turning Back trails the field. The gap is narrowing now as they get out into the field a little bit. Brigade of Guards still, Key to the Dungeon still on top. Alexandra White making a move on the outside with Precious Lamb. Precious Lamb now edging into second place by a half a length as they head for home. They come up the stretch though. The one to catch is still Key to the Dungeon. Key to the Dungeon on top still, but here comes Joe Gillette on the inside. But it's going to be Alexandra White, the one to catch at the moment, but they head toward the finish line. And it's going to be a close one, but it's Countach on top. Countach on top. Key to the Dungeon in second place, Brigade of Guards in third. Precious Lamb is fourth, Never No Turning Back fifth. Unofficial order of finish.
Who's riding the first horse?
In the next race?
No, the winner.
Oh, yeah, Todd Wyatt.
Owner of number 11, please report to the trophy area, which is the white fences with the early lead. Personamate approaches the first fence on top by 3, followed by Deceptive Stroke in second place, Finder's Terms in third, and Black and Sword in fourth. Coming up to the second fence, Personamate still has the lead. Personamate with Jonathan Kaiser aboard as they come past the crowd for the first time on this figure 8 course. Personamate with a 15-length lead into the third fence. Personamate on top, taking out a rail. Deceptive Stroke in second place, followed by Finder's Terms, and Black and Sword goes the hard way. They head toward the fourth fence now. Personamate still on top, sprinting away from this field in the Howard County Hunt Cup. He's got now about a 25-length lead as he goes down the hill and around the far turn. Deceptive Stroke still in second place, Finder's Terms in third, and Black and Sword brings up the field. Already coming out of the far turn now and coming up toward the sixth fence is Personamate. Approaches and jumps the fifth fence, Personamate on top, making the second loop here. Coming back toward the crowd, Deceptive Stroke in second place, Black and Sword now in third, Finder's Terms in fourth. Over the sixth fence, a bit of a bobble, but he stays aboard. Personamate still on top. Jonathan Kaiser still in the irons. They head out toward Roxbury Road. Everybody's across that one safely, and they head toward the seventh fence. Personamate with a large lead. A lot of ground to make up for the rest of the field here today, but it is a 3-mile race, so they got a lot of running left to do. Deceptive Stroke in third, Black and Sword in second, Black and Sword in third, Finder's Terms in fourth position. But the race at the moment is on the front end with Personamate with a 30-length lead across this field. Personamate approaches and jumps the eighth fence. Keeps right on rolling along. However, that distance now between the first and second horse is starting to narrow ever so slightly. Personamate at the 9th. Deceptive Stroke having jumped the 8th, all across the 8th now. Deceptive Stroke, Black and Sword, and Finder's Terms in that order. Personamate coming down the hill toward the crowd now for the second time. Approaching the 10th fence, Personamate on top, Jonathan Kaiser aboard. Personamate jumps the 10th. Deceptive Stroke coming down the hill, Black and Sword in 3rd place, and Finder's Terms. Personamate over the 11th. Heads up the hill, past the crowd again. Deceptive Stroke starting to make up a little bit of ground now. Black and Sword in 3rd place. Finder's Terms not out of it yet. Over the 12th fence, Personamate heads down the hill for the next loop. Here comes Deceptive Stroke in 2nd place. Black and Sword and Finder's Terms in that order. Personamate approaches and jumps the next. Deceptive Stroke making up a little bit of ground now. Personamate starting to tire just a bit on the front end. Around the turn and up the hill toward the 14th fence in just a moment for Personamate. That's a big jump there for Finder's Terms. Black, he's in 4th place. In 3rd place, Black and Sword. Deceptive Stroke in 2nd. Still a long ways to go. A lot of ground to make up, however. Personamate approaches the 14th fence. Jonathan Kaiser steadies him easily over the 14th fence, but here comes Deceptive Stroke making up ground fast. Black and Sword in 3rd place, and Finder's Terms. William Meister on Deceptive Stroke, not to be outdone here today, starting to make up a little bit of ground on Personamate, who is visibly tiring now as he approaches the 15th. Up and over that one, and here comes Deceptive Stroke with Black and Sword starting to make a move as they come into the fence, and out jumps him at that one. Black and Sword now in 2nd place. David Benson aboard. Taking aim on the leader, Personamate, as they approach the 16th fence. Black and Sword in 2nd, Deceptive Stroke in 3rd, and Finder's Terms in 4th, but starting to take a move on 3rd place spot. Making the turn now to run parallel to the road and approaching the 17th fence. Personamate has been passed. Black and Sword on top, Deceptive Stroke at 2nd. Finder's Terms in 3rd as they fly across that fence, and it looks like Personamate is pulling up. The race is on the front end. As they approach the 18th fence, it's Deceptive Stroke in the lead again over Black and Sword and sprints away by 4. Down the hill toward the 19th and 20th fences, Deceptive Stroke now widening his lead up to 6 lengths over Black and Sword and Finder's Terms. Flies over that one as they come up the hill. One fence to go to the finish. Deceptive Stroke on top. Heads toward the finish line by 8. Deceptive Stroke. William Meister aboard. And on top by 10 lengths over Black and Sword. In 3rd place, Finder's Terms. Unofficial order of finish here in the Howard County Hunt Cup. Sponsored today by Wave Dancer Surf Shop. Your unofficial winner, ladies and gentlemen, the number 4, Deceptive Stroke, followed by the number 1, Black and Sword in second place, number 3, Finder's Terms in third. Unofficial order of finish, the official time, 6:08 and 1/5. 6:08 and 1, the official. They're all in line and they're off. Alexandra White takes Paoli Dock to the early lead. Rock Eagle in second place. Uncle Albie in third. Troy Lively and Old Firehouse in fourth position as they head out for the 1 mile flat race. Paoli Dock on top, but neck and neck with Rock Eagle. Troy Lively on the far outside with Old Firehouse now moving into second place. And Uncle Albie is a close fourth. They head down the backside. They remain in that order. Old Firehouse maybe with a slight edge over Paoli Dock. Down by the tree line, Old Firehouse on top, Paoli Dock in second place. Rock Eagle has dropped back to fourth. Uncle Albie in third. Old Firehouse with a 2-length lead over Paoli Dock. Another 2 lengths back to Uncle Albie. Another 3 lengths back to Rock Eagle. They go that way down the backside of the course. Troy Lively in front by 3 on Old Firehouse. Uncle Albie making a move on the inside and taking over second position from Paoli Dock. Second by a half a length, but it's 4 lengths now to the front and Old Firehouse. They come up the hill toward the stretch and the finish line. Old Firehouse on top by 3. But making a move on him fast now is Uncle Albie. Jonathan Kaiser on top as they head toward the finish line, and it's going to be Uncle Albie by 1.5. And they're off. As they come down the hill to the first fence, that's Uncle Uno on top, Sam Sullivan in second, and Swayo in third. They approach the first fence, up and over. Uncle Uno on top as they approach the second fence. Uncle Uno, Sam Sullivan, and Swayo in that order as they come up the hill past the crowd for the first time, approaching the third of 20 fences. Uncle Uno on top, Sam Sullivan right beside him. Joe Gillette on Swayo in third. They move away from the crowd and toward the fourth fence. Sam Sullivan, Uncle Uno take that fence together. Swayo in third. They continue in that order down the hill and around to the fifth fence. Uncle Uno widens his lead now by about 2 lengths over Sam Sullivan, another length back to Swayo. They come around, head up the hill toward the fifth fence. Irving Naylor on Uncle Uno approaching the fifth fence at this time. Sam Sullivan went a little bit wide, but made up some ground. Sam Sullivan, Swayo jumping together. Uncle Uno on top. They make the top of the loop of the figure 8 and head toward the sixth fence. Uncle Uno on top by a length and a half. Sam Sullivan in second. Swayo in third as they approach the sixth. Up went over safely on that one and down toward Roxbury Road and the 7th fence. Sam Sullivan joins Uncle Uno now on the lead. Swayo, Joe Gillette aboard in 3rd. At the 7th, it's a team as they jump that one, Uncle Uno and Sam Sullivan. You can throw a blanket over the whole field and not miss a one. They make the turn on Roxbury Road, head toward the 8th fence. Sam Sullivan's turn on the lead now. Uncle Uno in 2nd place, Swayo in 3rd. Sam Sullivan by 2 as they jump the 8th. Joe Gillette makes it a little bit closer with Swayo, about a length off of Uncle Uno. They run toward the 9th fence in the same order. Sam Sullivan on top by 3 now. Good jump there. Uncle Uno in 2nd, Swayo in 3rd. Down the hill toward the 10th and 11th fences. Halfway through this course at this time. Uncle Uno on top. Sam Sullivan right there in 2nd place. And it's not far back to Swayo. They head toward the 12th fence. A close field for this 3-mile timber race. All look fresh and ready to go. Uncle Uno on top, Sam Sullivan right beside him, and Swayo in 3rd. As they move away from the crowd, they maintain that order. They come toward the next. That's Uncle Uno on top, Sam Sullivan jumping right there beside him, neck and neck, and Swayo in 3rd. They're on their final circuit now, ladies and gentlemen. They're topping off the top of the 8th. The figure 8 loop. They're headed out toward the 14th fence when they straighten out. And it's Uncle Uno on top by 2.5. Uncle Uno on top. Sam Sullivan in 2nd and Swayo in 3rd. They come up the hill at the 14th. All jumping pretty close together, but Uncle Uno has the edge. Uncle Uno, Irving Naylor aboard as they come toward the 15th fence. Sam Sullivan makes a run about at the fence. They jump as a team. Head toward the road now for the last time. They head toward the 16th of 20 fences. Sam Sullivan, Uncle Uno, and Swayo. They've traded the lead a couple of times to basically stay the same. 4 fences left to go in this 20-fence, 3-mile timber race, and it's tightening up on the lead, if that's possible. 3 across the course. And believe it or not, they're picking up speed. 4 from home. Now 3 from home. Sam Sullivan by half a length. But here comes Uncle Uno, and there's Swayo right alongside, and they are 3 across the track as they head for the 3rd from home. Uncle Uno now dropped back to 3rd, and Joe Gillette has taken over on Swayo as they head down the hill for the final 2 fences. Sam Sullivan in 2nd, Uncle Uno in 3rd. The 19th fence, 2 from home, and here they come. Joe Gillette on top of Swayo, and there he goes. 1 more fence to go before they cross the finish line, and it is Joe Gillette on top with Swayo, having bided his time all the way around this course and made his move on the backside. And here he comes, the victor, Joe Gillette. Swayo in 1st place by 6. Sam Sullivan in 2nd, and Uncle Uno in
race. The ALDA Clark plate has been sponsored by Farm Home Services in Southern States. And we'd like to have Martha and Chris please report to the presentation area for the presentation.
And they're off. And it's Snoopy with the early lead. Hip Hip Hooray trying to get there. Snoopy is on top by 4 as they come down toward the finish line, and look at those little things go. Snoopy on top, but here comes Hip Hip Hooray. Hip Hip Hooray making a fast move, getting a good ride, and Hip Hip Hooray passes. Hip Hip Hooray by a half a length over Snoopy. Hip Hip Hooray, 1/2 length winner.
Yay, Snoopy!
That's Randy Wynitz. That's Peter Wynett's granddaughter, isn't it? Captain Nemo still very spirited out there in the field. Summers Bounty has the early lead, but I don't think Captain Nemo is going to be denied on this one. They're just about neck and neck as they come over the hill. They head toward the stretch, and Captain Nemo has got the lead by a half a length over Summers Bounty. They head toward the finish line, and Captain Nemo is on top. But it's not over yet. Captain Nemo and Summers Bounty. Captain Nemo the winner by 2 lengths over Summers Bounty. 4-3, your unofficial finish.
Tell them to have another drink.
They're all at the start. The flag is up. And they're off. Blossom takes the early lead by 3 lengths over Pepsi. Jesse James another 6 lengths back. It's Blossom on top, flying like the wind as they make the turn toward home. Blossom widening that lead now, doing a little bucking and kicking along the way. She's feeling good. Blossom on top, Pepsi in second place, but here comes Jesse James. Only a few hundred yards to go, if that much. Now just about a football field length. Whoops. And here comes Pepsi. Pepsi taking the shortest route home over Blossom in second place and Jesse James in third. And there they go. The flag is up, and they're off. That's Farrar's Moment with the early lead. Kramer in second place. Case, Ace, and Starquester in fourth. Farrar's Moment with a length lead over Kramer, but the field's changing in the far mist. We're trying to see exactly what's going on. They're all bunched together, but Farrar's Moment still has a half-length lead over Kramer. Starquester in fourth. Case Ace making the move on the outside as they head for home. Farrar's Moment still on top. The finish line's over here. Well, looks like we may watch out. Here comes Starquester and Farrar's Moment. Starquester and Farrar's Moment making a race of it at
It's your clock.
They're all in line. And they're off. Not a blistering pace yet. But long-legged Paul has an easy lead as they come down the hill toward the first of 20 fences. No need to rush in this race. Long-legged Paul in first and BL's Brass in second. They come toward the second fence in the same order. The rest of the field is far behind. Long-legged Paul on top. BL's Brass about 10 lengths behind. They come past the crowd for the first time. Long-legged Paul takes that one easily, as does BL's Brass, and they head away from us for the top of the loop and the fourth fence. Long-legged Paul on top. BL's Brass trying to get there. Both safely over that one. Go down the hill to make the turn toward the fifth fence. Long-legged Paul lengthening the lead now a little bit, up to about 15 to 20 lengths. BL's Brass in second place, no other place to be. They head toward the fifth fence. Long-legged Paul on top. BL's Brass looks like they're picking it up just a little bit, so long-legged Paul doesn't get quite so far away. Headed toward the sixth fence. Rod Cameron on long-legged Paul. Rod takes that one easily. Warren right behind him now, only by about 10 lengths. And they make the six. Headed toward the seventh fence. Long-legged Paul on top. They continue that way past the paddock. Headed toward Roxbury Road. Over the seventh fence for long-legged Paul. And over the seventh fence for BL's Brass. They head toward the southern end of the figure eight to run alongside Roxbury Road and the 8th and 9th fences. Long-legged Paul on top by many. But BL's Brass is not out of it. This is a long race. Not quite halfway through. BL's Brass picking it up a bit on the flat, closing the gap between him and long-legged Paul. At the 9th fence, it's going to be long-legged Paul with the lead, but not as quite as big as it has been. They make the turn down the hill toward the 10th fence, and now it's only about 8 lengths between the two. However, long-legged Paul has not relinquished the lead since the start. That may be another story by the time they get to the bottom of the hill. BL's Brass now about 5 lengths behind. They come to the 10th. Halfway through this 3-mile timber race with 20 fences, and it's long-legged Paul and BL's Brass. Safely over the 11th. Going to be a little bit more of a horse race here. BL's Brass and long-legged Paul. BL's Brass now moves to the front, but they actually jumped that one together. I sense a little bit of competition here. We got the steering problem straightened out, and he heads toward the next and over. A lot of horse left there with long-legged Paul. They head down the field toward the 14th fence. Long-legged Paul coming up toward the 14th fence now with a lead of about 15 lengths. Very fresh horse here. One more time to go. The next time across the finish line will be the finish. Long-legged Paul looking for the 15th fence, and he found it. BL's Brass right behind. About 15 lengths separates the two. They go down and pass the paddock now for the last time. 4 fences left to jump. Long-legged Paul widening his lead now over BL's Brass. Long-legged Paul on top. 4 fences left to go. BL's Brass now also has 4 fences left to go as they head toward Roxbury Road and the final time down by the highway. Long-legged Paul about a 20-length lead over top of BL's Brass. If BL's Brass is going to make a move, now is the time to do it. 3 fences left to go for the leader. 4 fences left to go for the second place horse. Long-legged Paul easily in command. 2 fences left for long-legged Paul. The gap does not seem to be narrowing, but you never call a winner till they cross the finish line. Long-legged Paul on top, BL's Brass in second place. 2 fences left here in the 3-mile Hunter Chase Timber Race. 1 fence left for the leader, 2 for the second place. Long-legged Paul on top as he heads up the hill toward the finish. Rod Cameron in the irons, winning here today in the Hunter Chase Timber Race. Well ridden by both gentlemen. Well ridden by both. BL's Brass in second place by 10.
Actually, that was 15 lengths under the top. A mile.
The flag is up. And they're off. Grandin Gallant has the early lead as they head down toward the first of 20 fences. Grandin Gallant with about a 2.5 length lead over Fiery Rob. They make their way gently to the first fence. Up and over. They come up the hill toward the second of 20 in this 3-mile race. Looks like Howard County wants to make a race of it. Neck and neck as they come to the third fence. And they make it over that one. Fiery Rob now has about a length and a half lead over Grandin Gallant as they round the barrel and head down the hill toward the fourth fence. And up and over for both of them, neck and neck. They head down the hill toward the fifth fence. You can hardly tell them apart at this distance. Grandin Gallant has a slight advantage. They straighten out.
They cut the barrel.
Did they cut the barrel?
But they both cut the barrel.
As small as 5 races ago.
As a team, they make it over that fence. Fiery Rob with a length and a half lead over Grandin Gallant as they head toward the sixth fence of 20.
20?
Ah, nicely done. The seventh fence is next on the circuit, and Fiery Rob is in the lead.
Followed by Future Me.
Grandin Gallant in second place. We can see two saddle claws bob up and down. We assume they made it. They head toward the eighth fence on Roxbury Road. They've made the turn. Laura has about a 3-length lead over Sam at this point, but the gap is closing as they head toward the eighth fence. Grandin Gallant in second place by a length and a half, and closes a half of that length with the jump. Now toward the ninth fence, Fiery Rob on top, Grandin Gallant in second place. At the ninth fence, they head down the hill toward the halfway mark.
That tennis just ain't cutting it anymore.
Fiery Rob with a slight edge as they come to the 10th fence. 10 completed and 10 to go. They come up toward the 11th fence. Fiery Rob's there first. Grandin Gallant is a close second. They head up the hill toward the 12th fence. 5-length lead now for Fiery Rob. Nicely jumped, nicely jumped. Head toward the next, and it's still Fiery Rob on top, Grandin Gallant in second place. They're at the next. And there's not 2 lengths between them as they head down the hill for the final time and come around for the 14th fence. Fiery Rob, Grandin Gallant in that order just about from the start. Howard County in front, Loudon West in second. They come toward the 14th fence, and it's Fiery Rob there first, but Grandin Gallant is not far behind. They're carrying equal weight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
At the 15th fence, Fiery Rob, Grandin Gallant. Fiery Rob, Grandin Gallant in that order. Going down the tree line now for the last time. Fiery Rob opens up a 6-length lead. But Grandin Gallant's not to be denied. He's coming back. They're at the 17th.
She opens up and when he jumps, he comes in.
They head toward Roxbury Road now for the last time. Fiery Rob has a 5-length lead over Grandin Gallant as they head toward the 4th from home. Both still have a lot of run in them here in this 3-mile race. Sam's not to be denied yet. The gap slowly closes. Fiery Rob still on top, Grandin Gallant in second place. They've only got 3 fences left to jump in this 3-mile, 20-fence timber race. And now make it 2 fences left to jump, but the gap remains the same. Fiery Rob actually is starting to pull away just a bit from Grandin Gallant as they come down the hill for the last 2 jumps.
Come on, Sam!
2 fences from home, now make it 1 fence from home, and it's Laura Cutter-Off on top with Fiery Rob as they come up the hill. And it's no fences at all.
cold winter, we can put our rifles and stove it this morning. Woo! Would have had to take a break.
And everybody coming off and running. Position power on the inside. Starting over Seattle with Serenity Prayer. Going even on the front end is Position Power. Serenity Prayer racing in second place. Starting over Seattle in third. Eddie Graham setting a slow pace on Position Power. Serenity Prayer racing in second place. Starting over Seattle in third. Position Power on top by about 2 lengths. Serenity Prayer now moving a bit closer as they go down the hill. The first a few times to go around the course. Starting over Seattle and Todd White completing the 3-horse field. It's Position Power with the lead, making about a 2-length advantage. Serenity Prayer and Christopher Daniels racing in second place, going easily as it is touring over Seattle, who's in third. And straight away down the backside, Position Power still holding on to about a 2-length advantage. Touring over Seattle, another 2.5 lengths farther back, racing in third place. Position Power has played every step of the way. He still has a 1.5 advantage. Serenity Prayer going evenly in second place with Patricia Daniels, only about a 1.5 to 2 lengths off the lead. And Story over Seattle is 2 lengths farther back, racing in third, and only about 3 lengths off the lead. This is the first of 2 times go around. Patricia Power and Eddie Graham still with about a 1.5 advantage. Serenity Prayer racing in second place, Story over Seattle, another 1.5 to 2 lengths farther back, racing in third. Patricia Power with the lead. Serenity Prayer racing closest to him in second place, Story over Seattle in third. It's been in order for the first time around. One more time to go around the course. Patricia Power with the lead. Serenity Prayer running in second place, Story over Seattle racing in third. With one more lap to go, we're about 7/8 of a mile. Patricia Power by a length. Serenity Prayer racing in second place, Story over Seattle on the inside in third. Bit more than 3/4 of a mile to go. Serenity Prayer now moving a little bit closer to Patricia Power, who's led every step of the way. Patricia Power on top. Serenity Prayer racing in second place. Story over Seattle now moving alongside Serenity Prayer. Tightly bunched as they head to the final 5/8 of a mile. Patricia Power with the lead. Serenity Prayer on the outside racing in second place. Story over Seattle now moving to on the inside. Battling for second with Serenity Prayer, and they're only a length and a quarter off the leader. Patricia Power still trying to hold them off in the final half mile. Serenity Prayer racing in second place. Story over Seattle on the inside, racing in third. You throw a blanket over the 3 horses, but they got about 3/8 of a mile to go, and less than a length separates them. Patricia Power on top. Story over Seattle on the inside. Serenity Prayer now moving to the lead from the outside under Patricia Daniels. Serenity Prayer on top by about a length and a quarter, maybe less than that at the end, but they're coming back again. Patricia Power is going over Seattle. They battle into the final 3/16 of a mile. Serenity Prayer on top, going over Seattle, making up ground on the inside. Patricia Power on between horses. They battle into the final 8th of a mile. Serenity Prayer with the advantage on the outside. Patricia Power in the first point, going over Seattle on the inside. Serenity Prayer with the lead as they head towards the bar. Serenity Prayer by 3/4 of a length.
Hey, there you go. All right, now look up. Oh, don't cut the other way out. Put the other one down. Let's go. Go ahead.